there are blacks before we came here who have accomplished a lot. I'll just name a few examples. Lincoln Alexander, you know him? From Jamaica, was Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. Michael John, you know, the Haitian, was the Governor General of Canada. So when people start saying discrimination, I try to disabuse them of that feeling, that negativity. Everyone's situation and experience and their journey are all idiosyncratic. By that I mean each person is unique, is an individual. What I've experienced is not necessarily the same experience that others have. And as a statistician, I always caution people, what I'm telling you is just my experience. If you're going to use it to generalize, just use it as an anecdote. I was a statistician in Nigeria. I worked with the Federal Office of Statistics, which was located at Ikoyi Road in Lagos. And I was chosen to go to the International Monetary Fund to work with the fund. In fact, while I was there, I was responsible for just one page of the International Financial Statistics, IFS. And that page is the African page. You know, you might say, but how many countries do you have in Africa to have their statistics recorded there? But it was quite a learning experience. And I thank God I was given the opportunity to go there. I was there in 1966. 1967, the war was about to break out. And my then immediate boss, he phoned me. She said, Mike, you have to come home. I said, Eric, I'm not coming home. Why not? I said, you know I'm an Igbo man, so we can guarantee your safety. I said to Eric, even Gawan was the military boss of Nigeria, military guy in charge of Nigeria. I said, not even Gawan can guarantee his own safety. So when I broke up and said I'm not coming back, it meant I had no country, I had no job with Nigeria. But IMF kept me, you know, they kept me for a while until I get something. So I applied for a job with the United Nations in New York and Dominion Bureau of Statistics here in Ottawa. And I got a letter saying they are interested in me. And the letter was signed by the chief statistician himself, Simon Goldberg. Shortly after I had a call, the guy introduced himself as Alex Foti. He was my director subsequently. He says, we're interested and we'll be coming to interview you. I said, where? A hotel in Washington? He says, they are there for a conference. So they invited me to come for an interview. I heard somebody shout, Mike Adibe. I turned around, he says, I'm Alex Foti, come. I said, they just told me you are not in this hotel. He says, so? He says, let's sit. We were in the lounge. What do you want, Michael? I want nothing. I want a job. That's all I want. He says, no, let's have tea, coffee. Alex Foti was the director of the national accounts. Unlike previous interviews that I had gone to, nobody asked me, where did you study? What grades did you make? What's your job experience? They said, well, we have already, we've got those things on your application, so just tell us about yourself. So I focused on the problem in the country at the time, how I've suddenly lost my country, my job. Alex called me on the phone. He says, Michael, you'll be getting 2 offers, one from Price's division and one from me, from my division, the national accounts. The letters are identical, but I want you to come to me. I said, Alex, the fact that you called me and let me know that I have a job, I'll take yours. 2 weeks later, I had identical letters from Public Service Commission offering the same salary of $8,550. I said, wow. I said to my wife, I should have asked for $9,000. But the condition was that I have to be a Canadian citizen or landed immigrant. So I said to my wife, now with government job, they'll just give us the landed immigrants. We went to the Canadian embassy to be met by this uniformed RCMP officer, elegant. And I said, and the guy, welcome, sir, welcome, madam. I said, we are somebody, because you don't get that type of treatment back home. I was going out one evening to get into the car, and there was this postman coming in the evening. He says, I'm looking for Mr. Adibe. I said, that's me. I have a telegram for you. Sign here. I sign. Open the telegram, proceed to Canada. The delay in getting landed immigrant visa. When we got here, I asked, I said, why was the delay? They were looking for our children. I was in Washington with my wife. The children were back home. Alex Foti was always in contact to find out what was happening. You know, we did not get in here till 6 months after, because of the delay in getting landed immigrant. He kept the job for me. So the rapport, the welcoming nature, it's just incredible. It's mind-boggling. The Dominion Bureau of Statistics, DBS, they paid for our hotel. A colleague at work, Roger Heath, every evening will come pick us up to show us around, to help us look for accommodation. My boss, as an individual, they all went out to do things for us. So first day at work, I went in and Alex introduced me to the staff and took me down to the Assistant Chief Statistician in charge of personnel. Today they call them human resources. And they brought up my file and the guy says, Mr. Adibe, sign here. The salary on the paper was 9,000 something. I said, no, Mr. Labos here, it's not me. Here is the letter I got from Public Service Commission. It says 8,500, and now there's 1,000 on top. I said, please, that's not my own. He says, oh, Mr. Adibe, he flipped. He said, that's the same letter, but salaries have gone up. We had a guy who was with Stats Canada and was invited to Treasury Board, which was creating a new division, planning branch of the Treasury Board. And they created these efficiency and evaluation divisions within the planning branch. Maurice Lafontaine, who was also from Stats Canada, went there as the director. He invited John Edwards to come, and John says, let's bring in Michael. The response I got, we want people like you, who said it, and will teach you from scratch, not people that come and say they know everything and become obstacles for us in what we want to do. After the interview now to Treasury Board, after the interview by Public Service Commission, I got a letter which offered me a job, 12,000 something. We're saying if you guys, and they underfill the position, if you do well within a year, you get promoted and you start getting a salary of 14,000. I said, So I showed it to my boss. And they said, we'll give you 13,000 right away. And when you do your master's degree, you are up there 18,000. So I called Treasury Board. I said, John, I don't know what to do. John, as a friend, kept me on the phone for over an hour explaining. He says, yes, that's they'll give you 13,000. But Mike, mark my word, you'll be marking time there. But Treasury Board, you have the opportunity to see the government, because Treasury Board is the management arm of the federal government. But I was convinced to move on. In all my work career, I worked in the Central Statistical Office in London, England, Federal Office of Statistics, Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, IMF Statistics Division, in charge of the one page of the African page of the IFS. But in Canada, I worked for Stats, Treasury Board, Controller General, Auditor General. Treasury Board was where I had the most fantastic experience. It gave me opportunity to get to know the country, the government machinery. When you have communities sitting together, you support each other, you encourage each other, we draw strength from each other. That's one big thing about communities. If you stay alone, you can wallow in your sorrows, but if you have somebody, you say, oh, I'm not alone. This person has the same problem as I do. How do we solve the problem? But with Biafra coming up, I told you, meeting on Menuko introducing me to Peter Nwafo, who was already a friend. And then from there we grew Joe and Werekowe. So that gave us, at the early stages, support of each other. Actually, the difficult part was when she fell ill. It was sudden. We were preparing for my second son's wedding, and she couldn't attend. She was in a coma then. So the difficult part is gone. When she passed away, we did what we could, and now my children take care of me. I have 4 children, I'm blessed. 2 boys, 2 girls. When they came and went to Regina Public School, they were considered outstanding. The principal, a lady, called me and says, each time they call from school, my wife and I, we panic. Have the children done something wrong? And the lady says, oh, no. On the contrary, they are exceptional and would like you to come and talk to the teachers. I didn't raise them up. My parents and my wife's parents, those are the people that raised them. Be yourself. Know your objective. Don't expect things to be handed over to you on a platter of silver or gold. Who's going to hand you over something when they don't know what it is you want? And look back. Don't shout discrimination, 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 because there are blacks before we came here who have accomplished a lot.